Cabo Verde is going to translate me to speak a little bit about the film. It's not about only the English, I want to speak with my heart and also with you. So to speak about the film, that's the way I think it's better. Kalu.
Thank you. My name is Kalu dos Santos. I live here in Philadelphia. Been here since 1981. So a long time. So it's very proud, very emotional watching because a lot of stuff just brought back a lot of memories. So I'm so proud of my friend here and the work of putting our history out there for everyone to see. So beautiful. Thank you.
And thank you too.
Well, I do realize that I'm a person who needs to be educated. So, and I'm sure that everyone in the audience has so many more questions. I think I just have such a basic question because of how colonization happens, but also from a filmmaking perspective. Just so many, it seems that you must have gone through so many hours of footage, so many new things you must have seen, but where is it kept and how easy is it for people in Cape Verde to access these materials?
Thank you for the question. Grande parte do material desse filme que foi só entrevista, não tem o arquivo. E a maior parte desse arquivo está fora de Cabo Verde. É daquelas coisas que o colonialismo está a fazer. Quando este saís, está a tentar apagar a história. Então nunca tem nada.
Some parts of the footage exist in Cape Verde, but the majority is outside of Cape Verde. And archives of the archives are outside of Cape Verde, and that's something that colonialism does, is that it leaves and it takes everything.
Então é grande desafio que a gente tem na Cabo Verde nesse momento. O objetivo desse filme foi exatamente isso, questionar as narrativas que têm sido trazidas para nós anteriormente. Acho que o cinema tem esse papel ali também, de pedagógico, de questionar.
One of the objectives is to question all of the points of history and bring it back into the Cape Verde Islands and become part of the pedagogy, become part of the education system in order to fight the erasing of the history.
É importante também pessoas saber que essa história ali é uma história muito pouco conhecida também para nós cabo-verdianos. Bom, e na perspectiva do realizador já me estava a conhecer um bocadinho disso porque minha família participava na luta. Poder trazer-vos outra unidade de licença que porquê que me fiz esse filme? Pessoas às vezes podem estar a fazer esse questionamento.
One of the reasons why Elson made the film is because there is a sort of erasure or a lack of knowledge of the history and of this history, of this story. For example, this is my part. I didn't know about the clandestine, and Elson's family also took part in this, and it's a way of getting to know not just the history of this story, but the history of Cape Verde and the history of his family also.
Mas particularmente, vou dizer pessoalmente, o que inspira maior é porque minha pai participava na luta e minha tio, seu irmão, eles dois participaram na luta. Minha pai participava para o lado português, eu dou aquela perspectiva que o governo colonial, o sistema colonial estava a recrutar tropa naqueles países colonizados e minha tio lutava para o lado de Cabo Verde, na Guiné. E a história que não estava a ouvir quando me pequenino é que estes dois encontrar na linha de frente, no mesmo dia, na Guiné-Bissau. Isso é violento. Às vezes as pessoas daquele outro lado podem perceber mais é violento. Mas é que dois irmãos é que conviver sempre uma companheira de encontrar também um companheiro no luta, não é que eles podiam matar o companheiro. E nem que sabia.
Elson was talking about the history of, obviously, the colonial independence movement against colonialism. And the irony is that his family participated in the fight on both sides. His father was on the Portuguese side, and his uncle, which they were brothers, was on the PAIGC side in Guinea-Bissau, fighting for the independence of Cape Verdean, Guinea-Bissau. And one of the things, even my mother, when she spoke to Elson, said, yeah, one of the things, and he just mentioned it, that the brothers actually ended up meeting each other in the field of battle in Guinea-Bissau, across from each other. So.
This is violent, guys. You can imagine. For us, it's very tough. One question.
I say questions for the audience, yeah?
Okay.
There's one microphone back there.
I don't know how much of a question it really is, but I just wanted to say that I am a person that's of Cape Verdean descent, and it's not really a large community in Philadelphia, so I really appreciate being able to see a film that talks about history of that country, particularly because for my family, like, we've been separated from the country for multiple generations. So it really is nice to be able to see this film. I guess the question I might have is, like, how was it getting to meet Pedro Pires and, like, being able to talk to, like, a former president of the country, and how was that getting to know his family?
Minha equipa que trabalha a mim, que era só cabo-verdiano, tinha um português e um moçambicano que tinha colega na estrutura como colonizador. E o conhecimento que eles têm de um político africano é um político arrogante, um político que te dá espaço para o seu povo, e um político fechado. Para mim, PPG falar como um ser humano que não te encontrar na rua, na Cape Verde normal, ele tem aquela abertura. Mas para este, é que te habituado a aquelas coisas, eles ficar super lisonjeado. Como é que é possível não ter político desse calibre ali na África e pouca gente te conhece?
Part of his team, the other director, which she's not here, her name is Lara de Souza. She's from Mozambique, and when the team came to meet Pedro Pires, they're so used to political figures who are arrogant, who are standoffish, and when they met Pedro Pires, they said, how can a man like this, with such humility, exist in this political scenario of Africa? And for Elson, speaking to him, it's just like speaking to another man, speaking to someone who is Cape Verdean, with humility and everything.
Good. Thank you.
Hello. Hi. We are blessed to be part of the Cape Verdean diaspora.
Oh.
And I grew up in home and lived through the liberation. I can remember my grandparents celebrated in 1975 when Cape Verde was liberated.
Yeah.
I very much appreciate this film. I think you need to share it with the Cape Verdean diaspora.
Yeah.
We have Cape Verdean museums throughout the Northeast. You need to make it available. My only regret about this film is that you leave us hanging at the end. Paige just said, okay, it's back. Okay, they're reelected now.
Mm-hmm, yes.
That day is out. Okay, Paige said but we have a wonderful opportunity with, frankly, with the soccer and FIFA and everything, for tourism to come back to Cape Verde. I hope that HSA is ready to accept that opportunity. But you needed to leave the film with more enthusiasm about what the future holds for our country. Okay, because I have great faith in Cape Verde and its future potential.
Yeah, thank you so much. Filmes têm sempre tem um processo na ele, né? Não tem pessoas a te financiar para trás. E isto tem esse objetivo também, assim como mim tem da minha equipa, nossa equipa não tem. Então não tem um certo. Do you understand, Bill?
Yeah.
Ah, that's good. Guys, you will Yeah. Nesse processo de ensino, o objetivo é fazer filme circular o máximo possível em festivais, né? Festivais internacionais. O filme pode ganhar assim notoriedade também, para a gente poder ter outras portas de abrir em outros locais também. O objetivo é esse filme atravessar fronteiras, que ficar só na Cabo Verde. É uma história nossa, mas se conseguir atravessar, acho que é um modelo de exportação.
The objective here is to go over borders. That's it. Sometimes languages go all over the place. Is to yeah, I'm a bit emotional. To cross borders and to spread the history and so on. And one of the things that Elson said at the beginning was that there are two entities here, right? There are the financiers of the film, and then there's his team of production and directors and so on. So that's always a constant thing that has to be balanced, yeah. And
what are the plans for distribution? Do you have plans to distribute in the United States, or are you hoping somehow?
Yeah, we have plans to distribute it all over the world. Sorry.
Here's someone on my phone, yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned you started with the photograph of the.
Can you hold the mic?
Yeah.
Yeah, on your chair.
You started with the photograph of the Cape Verdeans that trained in Cuba. So I wonder if you could say a little bit more about that, about the role of Cuba in the struggle for independence in Cape Verde. There is a new book that is available, that is written by Victor Dreke, who was the commander from Cuba who went to fight together in, and help organize and participate in the struggle for independence. So this is available now, but I wonder if you could say a little bit more about the role of Cubans in the struggle for independence.
Yeah, thank you. Cuba que teve papel importante na Cabo Verde só durante luta.
Cuba did not only have a role in Cape Verde when it came to fighting for the independence.
Ele foi algo que transcendia o processo de luta. O que é que me quer dizer com isso? Cuba já hoje, a partir de uma certa altura, evolui bastante na luta armada, mas pós-luta, todo o processo de educação implementado na Cabo Verde foi exportado de Cuba até a hoje. Então, um grande número de quadros cabo-verdianos médicos foi formado na Cuba.
Cuba transcended beyond the independence movement. Even today, for example, within the last 35, 40 years or more of the independence, 50 years of the independence, there's a part of education that was brought over by Like Cuba, for example, most of the doctors that are Cape Verdean in Cape Verde were educated in Cuba. So the influence went beyond just the armed part of it.
Yeah, it continues, yeah. And we have a strange relationship with Cuba. They help us a lot in the COVID.
So I'm just going to mention before you ask your question, when you're done, just pass it over to the person in the yellow shirt, please. Thanks.
Thank you. I just have really a comment. I want to just say, first of all, thank you for the film.
Thank you.
What I wanted to just say is that Cabral, as well as the PAIGC, had such a tremendous impact on the Black freedom movement in the United States.
Yeah.
And when I think about Amílcar Cabral as just not only an ideologue, but a creative thinker that really did a lot to sort of break open activists who were so ideologically aligned with certain things and brought a lot of creativity out of people. I think it was Cabral who famously said, we trained to fight in the mountains, and then we looked around and we noticed that there were no mountains. So we had to focus on the local. So I just wanted to just make that point that tremendously impactful for what happened in the United States in terms of Black freedom. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if you know, guys, but Amílcar Cabral was here in Philadelphia in 1972, in Lincoln University. Yeah, he made a meeting with people who were fighting for civil rights at that time. There is an interview, a very strong interview at that time. They stood up to speak with him. So, you know, Amílcar Cabral is, I don't know, guys, I'm suspected to talk about him. You better. He's a huge. He's still huge, even in those days. I don't know if I'm asking you. Oh, okay.
Yes, in the middle, yeah.
Hi, good evening. My name is Asantwa Nkrumah Toure. I want to thank you so much for your film. I became of age politically in the All African People's Revolutionary Party, where we read all the works of Amílcar Cabral. So thank you for that film, because I'm having flashbacks up here. But I'm wondering, in terms of fundraising for your film, was that difficult? Also, are there any films, or are you planning a film on one of my favorite singers, Cesaria Evora?
Yeah.
And after we just had a wonderful World Cup, and I went to watch a game, and I'm wearing my Amílcar Cabral t-shirt, and I'm rooting for Cape Verde, and I'm sitting around all these Argentina fans, and I had a good time. But anyway, I'm hoping you will also do a film about this year's World Cup and the players and the impact they have had on the sport, and also the impact they have had on our struggle for Pan-Africanism. And I'm going to Cape Verde next year. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I will try to explain in English, and when I can, you will have. Yes, we don't have money for films in Cabo Verde, so all the money comes outside of the country. The Europeans, and we had money from Canada, which helped us a lot in the development stage of the film. But most of the money comes from Portugal. So no, never. It's up to us to change it. We have to do something. So now you see how difficult it is to do films in Cabo Verde. I can say all over Africa, but it's very difficult to find. Most of the funds are outside of the continent. So to do films, it's not easy for Cabo Verde, which is a poor country. For this film, which the government at that time didn't look at to this film as something, yes, good for the country. So the doors were closed for me. But it's okay. We keep doing. We keep fighting. So, yeah. We have a lot of stories to tell, you know. The diaspora of Cape Verde is so huge. We have such a beautiful stories here, so the next focus will be with them to try to bring that how rich is our diaspora. Yeah, people in Cape Verde need to know, and people all over the world too need to do some kind of the inspiration stories that we have here, and what people need to know in Cape Verde too, what's the immigration, what is immigration is. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if I'm answered. I did it. Good. Thank you.
So we do have one person with the microphone up there, and then if the microphone can come down here, and we only have 2 minutes, so that's going to be it.
So a quick comment and then a question. I am first generation here in this country. Minha mãe nasceu na Porto Novo, na Sintantão, e criada na São Vicente.
Great.
I just said my mother was born in Cape Verde in a city called Porto Novo in Sintantão and raised in São Vicente. She came to the U.S. in 1966. Actually 1965 to New York City, to Brooklyn. My mother passed away, but my father's still alive. I actually traveled all the way from Brooklyn today. Thank you to Kalu for contacting me. We were old friends, and I'm so glad I was here. I'll say that I think you made a very important point of having our Creole language being spoken on the screen.
Yes.
That's so very important. For those of us that are Cape Verdeans, we know we have 10 islands, but we also have different dialects. And so it's beautiful to hear que língua de São Vicente, que língua brava, Santiago. I said it was great to hear the different dialects and languages that we have in the different countries being represented. My quick question to you is, normally in a director or producer's mind, when you make a movie, it's part of a conversation. It's not just one statement, but an ongoing conversation. Where does this movie take you next? In America, when we do films, we think about sequels and the next part of the conversation. Where do you see this film going? What's the next stage of this conversation that this film has started for you?
Yes, thank you. Great question. What's your name? Sorry.
Your nome é David Ponte.
David, prazer, brother. First, about Creole, it was a decision. It was a strategic decision. We wanted to them to speak in their own language, their mother language, because I think they would be more comfortable, more confident. And it's another part. Most of the story that we know about Cabo Verde, they are telling in Portuguese language, you know. So we wanted to bring that kind of identity to the film, and to make a statement that we have our own language, you know. Thank you. And the second part is, you know, we want to bring this film to Cabo Verde in the first step to the universities in Cabo Verde. It's very important for the Cape Verdeans to know their story. So if we can do something with the university, with the schools, with the high schools, I think it would be something very good for the film and for me and for the crew that's working this film. And overseas, of course, we want to go to to the festivals, because festivals are so good. We have good people here. but we want to go to the universities too, outside of the country. We hope we can do that. Good for you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for that question as well. Thank you for this film. My name is Nairobi, and my family on my mom's side is from Guadeloupe in the French West Indies, which is still technically a colony. So witnessing and being able to hear people's independent stories is so incredibly moving. So yeah, thank you first and foremost. Also, I found it so beautiful to witness the transnational solidarity that you see employed in so many ways, and even as you mentioned, like people getting medical training in Cuba, and just the ways that this was a multinational conversation. What do you see as being our future reliance or embodiment of that strategy of transnational solidarity in film and storytelling, or just how integral do you see that being in our future and present movements for liberation?
Sorry if there's something that I couldn't understand. You speak so fast, that's why.
Sorry.
Sim, é super importante, sobretudo, deixa-me falar, I want to speak from my position as an African, and coming from a country which is small, né? Se eu não estou conseguindo fazer alguma coisa, se eu não conseguir juntar, né? E a África está num momento muito bom, né? Cabo Verde fazer essa participação enorme na Mundial, não tem outros países que assim também prominentes na coisa, mas acho que se eu não estou conseguindo fazer alguma coisa, se não juntar e não conseguir perceber a importância que não tem junto com o irmão, digamos assim.
Cape Verde is is being highlighted right now. One, because of the World Cup. Africa's in a different position. And there needs to be a unity as brothers and sisters come together in order to tell these stories in these types of forums, but also internally, which is very important for Elson, because of that term of, identity, right? Not just as an African, but also as all these pieces, which Cape Verde is part of those pieces. In order for, to tell these stories, we should come together, and it's very important.
Did I answer the question? You wanted me to? Thank you so much.
That's all the time we have. We're done. There's coffee outside if you still have questions. So can they crowd you and ask more questions? Do you want them to get on stage?
No,
Oh, yes. Okay, everybody, you want to stand up? We're going to take a picture.